Happy Thursday, Rockers. I'm Jake Ostrov. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you. It is October 10th, 2019. Weather watcher Kyle Ryman will give you the regional and big picture forecast for the day. We'll be checking out the Denim Day fashion show with our very own Adi Adodi. Later on in the show, we'll interview Anuja Bahulaker from the office of VPVA. We've got tons to get to. Let's wake up, Rutgers. Hello and welcome, Rutgers. It's great to be here on this cool Thursday morning. And as always, we're here to wake you up every Thursday morning this semester with all the exciting news, events, and weather. Speaking of the weather, it's been wacky out. Felt like this time last week I was wearing t-shirts and shorts. Next thing you know, I'm freezing at the football game on Saturday. And here we are in a flannel and jeans. It's finally that fall weather that we'd always been anticipating now that we're getting into October. But I have to say, some of these mornings I'm getting up, and the colds, maybe I'm still getting used to it, but it's hitting me just a little different. It feels like we're just skipping past fall and going right to winter, which reminds me of something that I brought up last week. Talked about the winter session a little bit on our show when we were over at the Yard. Obviously, we're back at the Livingston Student Center like we were a couple weeks ago, but you can register for winter classes. Registration opened on Monday. If you need those 3 credits, either to make up 3 credits or to get ahead, you can register now. Take some classes over the winter, and get on top of your education. But that's enough about the semester that's going to come, or the little session that's going to come. Let's talk about the fall semester that we're in right now. We're into week 6 of the 14-week semester, almost halfway through. And everyone's freaking out because they got midterms coming up. I'm doing the same thing. I have a midterm in my Spanish class that I'm already stressing out about, and it's not till this time next week. Make sure that you're going to class, paying attention, taking notes, asking questions, and leaving yourself enough time to study so you're not freaking out the night before the test, like I know I will this time next week. We've got plenty more to get to for the rest of the show. News, events, weather, the works, an interview coming up with a representative from the office of EPVA. But before we get to the rest of the show, let's see how much you know. When is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month? We'll find out the answer after this.
This is Kate. Kate never utilized the many great resources Rutgers has to offer. Now, Kate doesn't have a job. Don't want to end up like Kate? Then you should go to University Career Services. University Career Services provides career-related counseling, resources, and programs to help individuals clarify academic and career goals, establish career plans, develop job search skills, and make successful career transitions. The mission is to build relationships with alumni, employers, and graduate schools to optimize internship, job, and career opportunities. From workshops and webinars to fairs and other recruiter visits, the staff within University Career Services works tirelessly to prepare students and connect them to the world of work. For more information, visit careers.rutgers.edu.
Welcome back, Rutgers. Before the break, we asked, when is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month? Well, now it's time to find out the answer. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and over the coming weeks, the Office of Violence Prevention and Victim Assistance, or VPVA, will bring awareness to the issue and the impact of domestic violence by offering programming to promote healthy relationships and address attitudes that support the cycle of abuse. To bring attention to the issue of domestic violence, we will turn the campus purple in October by displaying purple ribbons and exhibits throughout our campus locations, and by encouraging faculty and staff to wear purple throughout the month, but in particular for National Health, Cares, and Domestic Violence Day on October 16th. And I mentioned before, we're going to have a representative from the Office of VPVA come talk to us a little bit later on in the show. VPVA, if you're a freshman, you come in, that's one of the sessions that you're going to see day one during your orientation. So they're here from the start of campus and now a whole month where VPVA can turn the campus purple. We're going to hear a little bit more about what they have in store a little later on in our show. Throw it over to our guy Kyle with the weather.
Thanks, Jake. Good morning, Rutgers weather watcher Kyle Ryman here waking you up like your morning cup of coffee, here with your morning forecast on this edition of Wake Up Rutgers. Starting things off right with the current readings. Right now, 59 degrees with scattered showers across the New Brunswick area. 2.48 degrees brings our humidity up to 81%. And right now, winds are coming from the north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles an hour. And right now, no precipitation for the last 24 hours. That could change throughout the day today. For your headlines for today, going into the rest of the week, you see a coastal storm affecting much of the Northeast, and I'll talk about that more in a little bit. Also, pollen on the rise yet again for portions of New Jersey as well as some portions of the U.S. And going into next week, calm weather to start off your next week. Now, as I did mention, pollen is on the rise yet again. The main culprit, ragweed. We're going to be seeing that a lot throughout the coming weeks. Today going into tomorrow, you're going to be seeing moderate amounts of ragweed pollen throughout the day. Although Saturday going into the rest of the weekend, you can see an uptick in ragweed pollen. So if you do have any allergy medicine, make sure you take it so it doesn't bring a damper on your weekend. For your current radar, right now you can see overall across the Northeast, mostly cloudy to cloudy conditions across the Northeast. And you can see right off the shore, you can see this coastal storm that has just stalled in place, dropping some rain along the Massachusetts coast. And you can see that affect us going into the evening forecast for today. You see some of those rain bands begin to whip around the Northeast, coming our way, bringing us some rain as well. And you'd see that coastal storm could affect us even further going into the day tomorrow, bringing us some scattered showers throughout the day going into the evening. So keep your umbrellas handy for that. Speaking of rain, we're seeing a lot of that today. 61 is your high with AM showers and PM clouds, although you can see some scattered showers anytime during the day. North-northeast wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour. You can see gusts up to 30 miles an hour, so keep that in mind with any loose articles throughout the day. For tonight's forecast, 49 degrees with cloudy and intermittent showers in your forecast. North-northeast wind of 10 to 15 miles an hour, so dampening off on winds, but we could see a little bit stronger winds in the evening as well. Make sure you don't go anywhere because in a little bit I'm going to talk about your 7-day and regional forecast. I'm weather watcher Kyle Ryman. Back to you, Jake.
Well, it looks like we're finally hitting that stride where it's fall season all the time. Some of the cooler weather coming today, but don't go anywhere. We have our news and events coming up after this.
Being a Rutgers student isn't always as sweet as it seems. If you're not prepared, you might find yourself needing some help.
I need help. I can't find my term bill.
Luckily, help is here. Getting to and paying your term bill is as easy as tying your shoelaces.
To get to your term bill, just go to studentabc.rutgers.edu and press the button that says Pay Your Bill. From there, you can log in with your NetID or RUID. The site will direct you to your account summary where you can find your term bill for any semester.
Okay, but how do I pay my term bill?
Great question.
For payment options, just refer to the right-hand side column on your account summary page. It's that easy.
Wow, that was really helpful.
All in a day's work.
Welcome back, Rutgers. Well, we're into the heart of the show here, our news and events, so let's hop right to it. Camilla Townsend, Distinguished Professor of History here at Rutgers, New Brunswick, says her new fall course, Wars, Wayfarers, and the Wall, a history of the U.S.-Mexican border, will challenge students to understand the border's tangled history and find research-based solutions for immigration issues. Townsend said the 2016 presidential election inspired her to create a course that would encourage critical thinking about contested issues surrounding immigration in the U.S. Students will be analyzing news articles, reading personal stories, and essays by and about immigrants, and examining what it means for an immigrant to become American. They will also participate in a decision-making scenario for a fictional local meeting in a so-called sanctuary city, where they will need to debate for positions on multiple sides of issues affecting the lives of migrants. And obviously our southern border is one of the most talked about issues in politics today, and it has been since the 2016 presidential election. So it's great that this Rutgers professor, someone who knows the history of the southern border, can create a course where students can come learn about it, talk about the history, and kind of use that history and focus on some of the issues that are still relevant today. Last week, it was announced that Rutgers women's basketball coach C. Vivian Stringer will receive the John R. Wooden Legends of Coaching Award next spring. This award is given to college basketball coaches who display the UCLA Legends standard of success and personal integrity. In her 48 years as a coach, Stringer was the first to lead 3 different schools to the Final Four, and in 2018, she became the 6th coach in Division I basketball history to surpass 1,000 career victories. And I was obviously on hand. You know, I'm a big supporter of our Rutgers basketball teams. And see Vivian Stringer, in her 25th year here at Rutgers, 48th overall, on the verge of winning 500 games alone at Rutgers, probably the first game of the season. She's a legend in her own right. Every time I've been able to interact with her, she handles herself like a legend. She knows the game of basketball, and it's unbelievable to be able to watch what she's doing. And congratulations to Coach Stringer, a very well-deserved Wooden Award. That's just some of the stuff that's happened over the last week. Let's move forward to some of the events that are coming up in the week to come. Get empowered by science at the Douglas Annual STEM Lecture and Project Super Research Symposium, happening this Friday, October 11th, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Douglas Student Center in Trays Hall. This interactive and engaging poster session will have students work from a broad range of scientific fields. There will be food, science, and more information on how you can get involved with Project Super. Make sure to check it out. I'm not much of a science guy, but I'm always interested in learning, and especially what Rutgers students are doing, so I'm going to have to go check that out. Now, here's another event that I'm actually a little bit more excited for. It's that time of year that we've all been anticipating, spooky season. This Friday, the Magali Association presents Bengalloween. This will be there will be a psycho tarot card reading, photo booths, henna artists, kebabs, and candy. No fear, your dose of Bengalloween de-stress is here. The fun will take place at the Livingston Student Center from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And it's right here in the Student Center. Halloween is here. We're just a couple weeks away. I think it's 3 weeks from today is Halloween. 21 days from now is the day itself. Come get in the spirit, dress up, and enjoy it. Well, that's just some of the stuff that's happened that's going to happen in the next week. And I mentioned before that we're going to have a representative from VPVA come in just a little bit to talk about a little bit more about what the office is doing, especially during National Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the month of October. One of their biggest events every year is the Denim Day Fashion Show. And last year, our own Adia Doty was able to go check out the fashion show. So now we should go paint the town scarlet with Adia.
If you see someone wearing jeans, they may be doing something more than just staying casual. Today, our peers will be dressed in denim in a fashion show to support the nationwide campaign of Denim Day. I'm Adia Doty, and we're here in the College Avenue Student Center Multi-Purpose Room. Thanks to Rutgers Know More and Scream Theater, we are able to help raise awareness to end sexual violence on campus. Let's go check it out. What is the significance of wearing denim today?
We wear denim today because Denim Day was a historical movement that started in Italy. That was a response to a Supreme Court case where a victim was overturned because she was assumed to have given consent because of her tight jeans, when in reality, it doesn't matter what the victim wears. Consent is always important.
Why did you choose to model for today's event?
So I chose to model because I wanted to support the cause of this event. I also wanted to empower other survivors out there because I am a survivor, and I just wanted to let them know that healing is possible and one day they'll be okay enough to walk on the runway.
So what brought you out to this event?
Well, today I really wanted to learn more just about the kind of resources that Rutgers offers people. I sadly did have a friend who was taken advantage of at a party, and I want to know how I can help people like that.
Why do you think events like this are important to have at Rutgers?
I think events like these are important to have here at Rutgers just because not a lot of students know about how important it is to be aware of sexual violence occurring, not just here on campus, but like everywhere in the world.
What is something you learned about tonight's event?
Just how many people are affected by sexual assault. I didn't know how large the number was, and it really just came as a surprise to me, like just how prevalent it is on college campuses, and it really stuck with me, I think.
Would you come out to this type of event again?
I definitely think I would come out to this event. First of all, I think the event just has like a really awesome, positive vibe. You're walking in and it's almost like a dance party. You're just having a good time. And besides that, it's for a great cause.
Living on a big campus like New Brunswick can be scary. Both resources and events like this one, it's always easy to stay aware. Until next time, keep painting the town scarlet. I'm Adia Doty, RUTV.
Well, it looks like such a meaningful event that VPVA has every year, but I'm not the best person to talk about it. Come up on the other side of the break, Anuja Bahulekar from the office of VPVA will join me to tell a little bit more about the office, what they have going on, and what's there to come. Stick with us.
Sometimes we all need an escape from the hustle and bustle of the busy New Brunswick lifestyle. Thankfully, just down Riders Lane, there is a serene escape. For many, Rutgers Gardens is one of the university's secret treasures. It is a 180-acre botanical garden made up of a variety of different natural areas, so there's something for every nature lover to enjoy. The gardens contain tons of beautiful natural backdrops. These include the bamboo grove, succulent garden, a variety of flower gardens, and an evergreen garden surrounding the Great Lawn. Or, if you want your visit to be more active, you can take a hike through the Hellier Woods on the 2-mile trail. All these sites are great for a relaxing getaway or to snag some post-worthy pics. If you are looking to visit the gardens, they are open 7 days a week, October through April from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., and then May through September from 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. For more information, visit rutgersgardens.rutgers.edu.
Welcome back, Rutgers. Here with me is Anuja Bahulekar from the office of VPVA. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for students that might be a little unfamiliar, what is the office of VPVA?
So VPVA stands for Violence Prevention and Victim Assistance. It's an actual office that's located here at Rutgers, New Brunswick, as well as all of the Rutgers campuses. Basically, our office provides various services for people who have experienced any sort of violence, although we do specialize in interpersonal violence, which can include things like sexual assault, domestic violence, stalking, and things of that nature.
So you talked about some of the services. What are some of the services that the office offers?
Yeah, so one major thing that our office offers is counseling services. So this is completely free and confidential for anyone who is affiliated with Rutgers University. That means you could be an undergraduate student, you could be a graduate student, you could be a faculty member. Basically, you can call our office or you can just walk in for an appointment and you can talk to someone about whatever it is that you are struggling with. So again, we do specialize in interpersonal violence, but if you are struggling with some other form of violence, you can still come into our office and you can talk to someone and they can either help you or they can direct you to whichever service would be better suited for whatever it is you need. So yeah, the best way to get that counseling is either to call our phone number, which you can find on our website, bpva.rutgers.edu, or you can just walk in. We're at 3 Bartlett Street on the College Ave campus. Besides the counseling services, we also offer 24-hour advocacy, which means that if if it's like 3 a.m. on Christmas Eve or something and you have just experienced some sort of violence, you can call up our phone number and someone will always be there to answer. If you have experienced some sort of trauma in that moment and you need someone to go with you to the cops, you need someone to go with you to the hospital, you just need to talk to someone about it, again, you can call our phone number and someone will always be there to answer. Besides those kinds of services, which by the way are not only available to someone who has directly experienced some sort of violence, but if you know someone, like if your friend has experienced some sort of violence and you are just kind of struggling yourself with how to deal with that, how to navigate that, how to help them, you yourself can come into our office and we're here for you as well. Because we know that more often than not, someone who has experienced violence will go tell a friend before they tell someone else. So we want to make sure that we're providing support for everyone, not necessarily just the people who are directly affected by violence in our community. And then besides the counseling and the advocacy, we also offer like prevention programming. So you might have heard of Scream Theater before. Scream performs at freshman orientation, and basically that's a student group that comes from our office. Scream stands for Students Challenging Realities and Educating Against Myths. And they meet every other Tuesday at 9:15 in Murray 212. And it's a really great way for anyone to get involved with our office. Basically, they use improv to educate different people about various sorts of interpersonal violence. And then we can also create workshops that are specific to whichever group you are trying to educate. So we put on different workshops for various different people. We have like peer education, we have things for OFSA going on. We are really willing to work with you and figure out whatever it is that you are trying to do, whatever it is that you want people to learn, and we can tailor our workshops to best suit that. So again, the best way to get that, if that's what you need, is to call our office, and then someone can help you set up an appointment for that.
So you mentioned some of the programming. You know, we know that October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. You have any events coming up?
Yeah, so actually right now we're in the middle of one of our really big events of the year. It's called Turn the Campus Purple. It's purple because that is the national color for domestic violence awareness. So you may have seen like the purple bus that comes from our office. That runs year round though, so that's not just during this week. But we've been having programming since Sunday for Turn the Campus Purple. Just last night we had a really cool event. It was called Songs for Survivors. It was like a coffee house type of event that was meant to honor and recognize male survivors of violence. So we do recognize that this is an issue that affects all people, it crosses all boundaries, and we want to make sure that we have events that recognize that. And tonight we are having something called a candlelight vigil, which again is to honor and support any survivors who have suffered from violence, specifically dating violence, since that is the month that we are in. So that's going to be at 8 p.m. at the Brower Steps tonight. So you should definitely come out and show your support. It's going to be a really cool event.
That sounds great. I'm going to have to go check that out. For you as a member of the Office of VPVA, what has been the most meaningful part of it for you?
Yeah, so one thing I really love about VPVA is just the inclusivity. VPVA is an actual office at Rutgers. We have full-time staff members that actually work there, but there are lots of ways for students to get involved. Like, I'm an undergraduate student, I'm a senior here, but I hold a student staff position at VPVA. I'm on the VPVA programming board. So I get to be involved with planning events. I get to, help support the staff members in whatever way that I can. But for anyone else who just kind of wants to dip their toes in, we have different student groups that you can get involved with. For example, I mentioned Scream Theater. We also have a VPVA General Members Board, or as we like to call it, VPVA GEMS. So again, that's a student group. We meet every other Wednesday in Murray 212 at 9 o'clock p.m. And basically, if you are interested in, helping plan our events, if you're interested in volunteering to set up or run or clean up the events, that's a really great way for people to get involved, because it's whatever commitment you want to provide. So if you're only available an hour when we're having the Denim Day fashion show, for example, and you just want to contribute that hour and you want to help us out, we would love to have you. But there's no commitment. We don't make you sign anything saying oh, I'm going to dedicate this number of hours per week, whatever. We just want as many people as possible to get involved with this work. So if you're interested, you should definitely come out. Our next meeting is going to be on Wednesday, October 16th, 9 o'clock p.m. in Murray 212.
So for any students that want to get involved either in a student staff position or maybe as one of those GEMs, as you called them, where can they go to find out more information?
Probably one of the best ways to find out information is through our social media. We are at RUVPVA on Instagram, and you can also use that to find us on Facebook. We are active on that, so if you wanted to DM us or something, we will definitely answer. Another way to get more information is simply by calling our office. I don't remember the phone number off the top of my head, but you can definitely find that on our website, vpva.rutgers.edu. And I would say that those two are probably the best ways to find out more information. And I also mentioned Scream Theater, so you can also follow their social media. They're at RU Scream Theater on Instagram. So that's a really great way to find out information about them as well.
Well, Anuja, thank you so much for coming in today, talking a little bit about the Office of VPVA and everything it's got to offer.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be back after this.
Hey, did you get your meningitis shot yet?
No, it's been a few years since I had my last one.
Oh, you gotta go. Rutgers is experiencing more and more cases of meningitis every semester, so you gotta keep yourself covered.
Rutgers Student Health is urging all Rutgers students to get up to date on their meningitis B vaccines. Meningitis B is a rare bacterial infection that has symptoms similar to the flu, but if left untreated can become fatal. The meningitis B vaccine is different from the meningitis vaccine required for all students living on campus.
Wow, that sounds really important. Where can I get my vaccine shot?
Good question. There are plenty of options you can pick from to fit your schedule.
You can go to your personal healthcare provider or go to your local pharmacy. You can also visit one of the Rutgers Student Health Centers located on Cook Douglas, College Avenue, Bush, and Livingston. Lastly, there is an on-campus vaccination clinic that will be held at the College Avenue Student Center from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the multipurpose room. As a bonus, all students who get their meningitis B vaccines and update their immunization records will be entered for a chance to win a $500 Visa gift card. Winners will be announced on September 13th, so make sure you set up an appointment and talk to your doctor today.
Wow, man, thank you so much for the help.
I'm just looking out for you, dude.
Welcome back, Rutgers. Wow, what a great spot that was with Anuja from the office of VPVA. Moving right along with our show as we near inside the 5 minutes of our fourth show of the semester. I'm going to throw it back to my guy, Kyle Ryman, with your 5-day forecast.
Thanks, Jake. Hey, Rutgers, welcome to watch your Kyle Ryman back here with your regional and 7-day forecast. Right now, taking a look across the region for today, you can see much of the interior northeast is going to be holding on to partly to mostly cloudy conditions with temperatures as high as 70 out in Lancaster. But overall, for the interiors of the northeast, 60s and 70s for your high today. And as you can see along the coast and some portions of the exterior northeast, you can see some rain across some of those portions with temperatures as cool as 50 degrees up in Boston as well. And for tonight's forecast, much the same applies. You can see those exterior places in the northeast cooling off to the lower 40s in some portions, still holding on to those partly and mostly cloudy conditions. But take a look along the coast yet again. You can see those rain showers continuing to hold on throughout the night. You can see Boston is going to be slammed by heavy winds throughout the night, so keep that in mind for those Bostoners up there. Now as I step off for your 7-day forecast for the New Brunswick area, for today, 61 degrees with rain. You can see some very strong gusts of wind throughout the day today, so keep that in mind for your commute today. Tomorrow, 62 with AM showers, although that could leak off into the afternoon and evening forecast as well, so keep your umbrellas handy throughout the day. And going into the weekend, 70 degrees and mostly cloudy on Saturday. That is going to be the warmest, cooling off to 67 on Sunday with partly cloudy conditions. And at the start of next week, 71 and sunny. Tuesday, partly cloudy with 67 as your high. And you can see Wednesday going into midweek, those rain showers begin to creep back in for your forecast. So keep that in mind. Now, that's all I have for your records. You can tune in to RUTV channel 23.1 every 15 minutes. Go leave a like on our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and use the hashtag RUWeather. And subscribe to us on YouTube as well. I'm weather watcher Kyle Ryman. Have an awesome weekend, and back to you, Jake.
Well, it looks like that chance of rain, we'll see if it holds out for the next couple of days, but most importantly, it's going to be nice, cool, and it'll feel like we're finally into October. Don't go anywhere. We're going to finish up our show. We continue with Wake Up Rutgers.
The Rutgers libraries have some of the biggest resources this university has to offer. There are 9 libraries located throughout all campuses with convenient hours to fit any student schedule.
The Alexander Library on College Ave campus is open 24 hours, but before 8 a.m. and after 10 p.m., a valid Rutgers ID is required. The Art Library, located on College Ave behind Scott Hall, is open from 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Carr Library on Livingston campus is open 24 hours, but before 8 a.m. and after 10 p.m., a valid Rutgers ID is required. The Chang Library on the Douglas campus is open from 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Mabel Smith Douglas Library on the Douglas campus is open 24 hours, but before 8 a.m. and after 10 p.m., a valid Rutgers ID is required. The Library of Science and Medicine on Bush campus is open 24 hours, but before 8 a.m. and after 10 p.m., a valid Rutgers ID is required. The Math and Physics Library inside of the Hill Center on Bush campus is open from 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. There's plenty of space for everyone at the library, so come inside. Shh.
Well, Rutgers, that'll do it for today's episode. For more events happening this week, you can go to getinvolved.rutgers.edu or ruevents.rutgers.edu. Follow us on social media by searching RU Network and follow us on Twitter by searching @WakeUpRutgers. We love hearing from you. Thanks again for tuning in and to Anuja for joining us. I'm Jake Ostroff. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week.